Welcome, hello. Is my mic on? Yes, it is on. Unlike most other streams. So, I'm here again after being sick for quite a while. My camera is in a different position. I always have to look there. There you are. I'm rebuilding some stuff here in my office, so the camera angle today is a bit different for me and for you as well. Maybe that's better. All right. So, yeah, nice to be live again. Eugene, Micha, hi. Guten Tag. Welcome, welcome. Hello, nice to see you guys. So, without further blah blah, because it has taken me too long already to come live again. Let's see what we got today, what we got to do. Yeah, I am going to show you my animation process because I'm I want to animate new animated illustration, or make an animated illustration, and this is a good opportunity for me to show you my process, because I think on social media and on my platforms, one of the most asked questions is certainly, how do you do your animations? And I don't see myself as an animator, so I'm not describing myself as an animator, but because I describe myself as a digital artist, an illustrator, who also adds like a little animated cherry on top of the cake of my art, you know. But I think it is a good opportunity to look, like, for everyone to look into my process, because I am not really an animator, because I think the way I do my animations is a good example for how to like add this little extra to your art, with not with limited tools, because we're going to look into After Effects, and it's a fucking insane piece of software. It has a crazy amount of functions, and it's very, very like much of a beast of a software, of an app. So I'm not limited on the tools, but limited on my knowledge, and limited on the tools I actually use from the whole toolbox After Effects is giving me or us. And I think it's a good example of keeping it simple, but still like having a good portion of moving elements in an illustration. Dominik, yo. Schön, dass du vorbeikommst. Hey Pradeep, Hobie, nice to see you guys. Thanks very much for coming over. So yeah, I want to keep it quite tight today without like talking too much about other stuff, because I want this stream to also like be a video I can send around on YouTube, or send around to people to watch on YouTube. So I hope that I can keep this like not as a 3 to 4 hour stream, but relatively tight in terms of my my workflow. However, if you guys have any questions, and if you want to know anything about the workflow or about anything at all, please put it in the chat, because that doesn't mean I don't want to answer questions, etc. Thanks, Eugene, much appreciated. Yeah, well, yeah, I think I'm doing fine. It's not really kind of talking down myself. It's more like that I know where my strengths are, so which is really kind of compositions and moods and colors, and the animation thing is more like an added extra. So let's maybe call it that, because no, I know that my animations are vibing with a lot of people, and I think I'm doing a good job with them. So, but yeah, you know, I know there's kind of crazy options and opportunities, like 3D stuff in Blender, or crazy effects, and to create whole like little movies, short movies and stuff like that. And I don't know how to do any of that. I just know how to put a little bit of movement into some elements in my artworks. So that's what I meant. So yeah, we're looking into it today because there's basically 2 different types of animation I'm using, and I think that's quite interesting. Maybe it's actually even quite a bit unique. I don't know how many people are actually working this way, but my way of working is I mix frame by frame animation, which gives much of a handmade character and a more old school vibe, and I mix that with a keyframed animation, like automatic animation, which is much smoother and probably, yeah, I guess easier to make in most cases. And I'm putting these 2 together in almost all my works. I want to show you how I do that in the stream. Let's take a look at that later. Yo, Steffi, how's it going? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, guys, appreciate the kind words. That's very nice. Oh, and Eugene, cool that you got the book. Glad you like it. Yeah, just sent out the very last hardcover edition this week. So the hardcover edition is now sold out. So I still have the softcover YRO bound version, and of course the digital edition. But yeah, I'm glad that you like the book. Okay, so let's get into it. The title of this stream is actually Procreate and After Effects animation, but and the stream will be about this artwork here. I have to drink a lot because my voice is still a little bit hurt. If I'm having a little cough attack in between, I'm sorry for that. But I hope it will be fine. So yeah, the artwork is this one here, which is the 6th artwork in my Japan Days series. So I still have to find a title for the artwork, so I just call it Japan Days number 6 right now. Still have to find a good title. Finding names and titles is always very hard for me. And this hasn't been done in Procreate. Some of you probably have seen the stream with where I introduced Affinity Designer. So this has been done in Affinity. I just exported it from Affinity to Procreate because I need to make the frame by frame animation here because I'm more comfortable and I need to use the tools. I'm not sure if Affinity actually has animation tools as well. But just for the reason of like being in my comfort zone, I'm doing the animation stuff in Procreate. If you want to look into the process of me drawing this artwork, actually, because it is the drawing part is, well, the basic drawing part is finished. We're going to draw a little bit later on, but still the drawing has been done in Affinity. Then there's a stream in one of my last streams, on YouTube. You can rewatch them all, and there's the stream where I'm working in Affinity doing this. Affinity is a great software, by the way, and it's really appreciated using it. And I'm going to do a short form video about working with Affinity at a later point, hopefully probably end of February or early March or around that time. But yeah, for now we're going to work in Procreate, and so this is the final artwork, and what I need first is, obviously I have to think about like what do I want to animate. I had to think about that in the very beginning. So of course, when you start an artwork, you have to separate the layers so that you plan ahead for what you want to animate, obviously. And I'm going to walk you through this. I'm going to do that in Photoshop. I just wanted to have Procreate open and prepare the frame by frame animation I have in mind here, which is I want to have this girl walking down that I wanted to say road. It's not really a road. It's more like a path. So I wanted to have her animated in a simple frame by frame animation, probably 3 to 4 frames or something like that. So everything I need here in Procreate right now is a background, which is this here. So I'm going to reduce the layer to really just one background layer. And I have a top layer here, which you see is having some of the texture effects, some of the reflections here, like on the house. And I don't need that at all, so I'm going to delete this one. No worries, this is a copy, this is not the original artwork. So no worries about losing any material here. And so what's left is the girl consisting of outlines, the solid black areas, which actually I can merge to one in this case. Then we have the shadows and the colors. And I want to have her, like I want to have a frame-by-frame animation where the hair and the dress is moving in the wind a little bit. So this is not going to be a walk cycle or something, because that would be really very, yeah, there will be lots of work to do the walk cycle first. Second, I want to loop the animation in around, usually I'm doing 12 seconds. So 12 seconds, for whatever reason, 12 seconds is a loop length that I like. And it would be like if we had her coming in here, walking down the path in 12 seconds, it would be quite fast and it would be lots of work. So what I do instead is just really a more an animation that is more like not a realistic walk cycle or something, but more like giving it a certain vibe. So I'm not aiming for realism. I'm not aiming for a scene that could be from an anime. I'm aiming for a loop that gives you a vibe. Talking about realism, if you have wind that is kind of brushing up her hair and giving her dress a little twist, of course you'd have to have the bushes and trees moving as well in the wind. I'm not going to do that. So keeping it simple, like I said before, animation that just adds a little cherry on top and not an animation that changes the whole scene or transforms the whole scene or whatever. So that's the first part of the animation I want to do. And let me switch to my screen. Is this let me give me a second. Is this working? Not really. Not really. Give me a second. Where is the right window? I only see Photoshop preview here. Why is that? Okay, give me a second. While I build my stream. Oh, that's weird. It doesn't show. It doesn't show the Photoshop window. Okay, we'll do it differently. That's so weird. It just doesn't show the artwork I have opened. That's really crazy. Okay, let's do it like that. All right. So you see it now. So what I do is, so this is the first part of the animation I want to do. This is with a girl, the frame by frame animation. And then I have a second part, which will be this the train coming through here. And Tress, the girl will be frame by frame. And now I'm going to explain what I will animate on top of that in After Effects with a keyframe animation. So we have the train here. Here's the layers of the file, and you see I have the train here in a separate group, and there's a little car behind that. So we want to have the car driving over the street here, and we want to have the train in a different pace, I guess. So in my head this creates a cool animation because the car comes probably comes in from here, and then at a slower speed, and then the train comes at a higher speed. So you have a nice little effect with the train overtaking the car. So these are on separate layers here, or in separate groups. And the trick with the grass here, or the field, whatever this may be, some grain probably, this is just quite simply just layering the foreground. So we have the foreground here in this group, and we have the train, car, and then we have the background, or the middle ground and background, all the stuff here. There's also the reflection on the train that I want to kind of have blinking up when the train passes this spot. I'm not quite 100% sure how I want to animate this later on, but we'll see about that. And then I have this glow here, this one here, that I want to maybe animate in and out a little bit, so there's a little bit of dynamic. So these are the two, or maybe including the car, the three main elements of the animation that I want to have later on. I was thinking about doing this cloud animation here frame by frame, but the thing is, animating the clouds should be, if I would do that, it should be very, very calm, very, very subtle. And with a frame by frame animation, it would drag too much attention, so I decided to keep this static here. But I want to, that's optional. I'm going to have a look at how it vibes later on, but the optional part later on may be some leaves falling into the scene. I didn't prepare any of that, so that's something I can add later on as an option. So that's what I have planned for the animation. Yeah, Hubi, that's actually Photoshop. Just like Strawberry Tokyo already mentions. So this is kind of the exported PSD file. I'm always preparing my animation files in Photoshop because, just for the very simple reason that I like to do the layer management here. So I rename the layers. Here I have the train car. I also have the different cars of the train in different groups. So I'm organizing my my file here. And I just like to do this on the computer and not on the tablet, because it's more comfortable to me this way. I didn't read all the comments, by the way. Jakob, nice to see you, man. Let her do some martial arts exercise. Yeah, Maybe next time. Ahmad, yes, I'm going to make this stream available on YouTube, so you can just rewatch it on YouTube later on. Matthew, Professor, nice to see you guys. Hey Jose, nice to see you too. And yeah, back from staying in bed because of a flu, or I don't know what it was, but I was sick for quite a while. But apart from a little bit of coughing in my voice, still sounding very sexy at times because of being rough. I'm good again. Good to stream again. All right, so this is the PSD file. I'm going to save it. It's going to save it. All right, so this is the part that happens in Photoshop. Nothing else I need Photoshop for. Let's prep the file in After Effects really quick. And then I think I'm going to do the frame-by-frame animation of the girl first, and then I'm going to check on the train. It doesn't really matter which first, but I think that feels like a good process. Yeah, Hubi, I was using Procreate just to show how I prepare the files for the frame-by-frame animation. I'm going back to Procreate in a minute again. Now I want to put up a new composition. Actually, what's the size of? Let me quickly look. The size. So it's 5251 pixels by 3508. I'm not sure why that size. I think at some point, so it's a 2:3 ratio. And when I started doing the Japan Days artworks, I somehow picked this size when I started. Frame rate stays at 30. I'm going to lower the frame rate most likely to 12 or 15 later. But I start at 30 because it's easier to work this way for me. And then I'm put the length on 12 seconds. That's my preset. So this is my composition now. And now I'm going to import the PSD file as composition. So here you see the PSD file I've been showing you just a minute ago, and I'm going to drag that in here, and here we go with the artwork. Here it is again with, wait a second, now it's in the middle. Okay, so this is the After Effects file we're going to work in. The girl is still in there and is going to replace with a frame of, whoops, what's going on? Is going to replace with the, oh, you're not seeing that again. This fucking stream isn't showing the right files for some reason. What is this? Oh, I got it. It was a weird setting, I don't know, but now it's working. Okay, sorry. So here's here's the file. Here's the artwork. So I think this should work now. Okay. Always learning every day. So the girl here is now a static layer. What I'm going to do is I'm going in the animation here. And you see there's the layer or the group called girl. I'm going to remove this because we're going to replace it with the frame by frame animated girl now, and we're going to do that now because this is probably the hardest part, or the part that takes the most work. So let's do that first and then head over to the more relaxed or simple part later on. So I'm switching back to Procreate now. Here we go. If this confuses you, like switching between Procreate, Affinity as well, Photoshop, After Effects, please let me know. If you have any questions, it's no problem to get into it. I know this is kind of a bit confusing at times, but basically we're just always working in PSD file formats right now. So it's always the same PSD we're having from the start, and we are going to, like this one here, focuses only on the girl animation, and the other is like on the PC. That's the complete file that will turn into the full animation later on. Why do I need Procreate? Because I want to work in the animation or make use of the animation functions here, which is which is the animation assistant here. Why this is so cool is we can have animated frames here, and it gives you a nice, what's it called, this frame thing, I'm not sure, onion frames, right? I think it's called onion frames. So you have animation frames here, and I can draw on top of this here, and I still see the original frame. So what I want to do is I want to have the dress color is a bit weird. I want to have the dress moving a little bit to the right, and this part here actually stays the same. I'm thinking if I should animate the like if I should include the legs into the animation at all, or if I should just change the dress and the hair. Would make it a bit easier, but maybe it is nice to have a little bit of movement in the lines here as well. No, Procreate is not available on Windows. I'm on the iPad here. I'm sorry if that's too confusing. So now I'm working on the iPad. This is my computer. This is the iPad. I have both in front of me, and I work on both parallel. So no, there's no Procreate on iPad. Yeah, right. There's no Procreate on Windows. And I think there will probably never be, because I think they have very much, Apple has very much secured that spot. I'm going to, this is much easier. Should have done that from the start. Yeah, no problem. It's I know it's a bit switching back and forth. Frame 1. Anim Design 2 for Photoshop. That doesn't ring a bell, no. I gotta try it. So I also tried Procreate Dreams lately. Sorry, itchy throat coming in here and there. Procreate Dreams. I probably need to get one of those Ricola. Procreate Dreams is nice. But I think it has a bit of like it has a bit of a wonky feel to it when using it. I didn't really feel so comfortable with it. They are going to add lots of new functions apparently, so that's what I heard. But yeah, it's so far it's not. It's great to do a couple of things. I also did an animation lately with it for client. I can't share it yet, but I will share it once once I have the green light by the client to so when I'm allowed to share it. Where it was really helpful because it gave me more comfortable frame-by-frame animation functions, but in general, I think for starters, it's probably not the right software because it doesn't make such a big difference. But I think it will. I mean, potential is there. Jo, Miss Feliday. Grüße zurück nach Österreich. In den Süden. Pradeep, thanks very much. Glad you like my colors. No, it's I think it's probably an instinct, or instinct is involved, but with colors, especially with colors. But I would never say that there's no like it's something you have to have a talent for or something. I'm not a fan of calling, like, of explaining skill with talent. You can learn everything, and if I was always really interested in finding right colors for my artworks, and found that very hard. So it was just training for me, lots of training. And oh, here's my anti-cuff sweets. I don't know if you saw the book I've been making, or I've been having on Kickstarter. But there's lots of coloring tutorials in there, so if you're interested in that, definitely check it out. It's let's see, it's over here. If you want to check it out. The tutorials are also on my Patreon, so I can't go very much into deep now, I think, but I think it's all training, and it's practicing, trying out, experimenting, just like with everything else. Only that colors, and there's one point that I think you're right about, like instinct. There is a thing about colors that where you have to like feel them more compared to other skills, like I don't know, like learning how to outline stuff. I think it's colors are like more emotional, and you can learn how to combine colors, but to create emotions with colors, I think that's really, it's also, you can also learn it and train it, but it's it happens on a different level for sure. So I'm sketching out the animation right now, basically just putting everything in test mode. Trying to imagine how this dress would behave if it was caught by a little bit of a wind blow. And the same for the hair. There's also streams where I'm coloring my artworks, by the way, where I try to explain my process and yeah, just take you with me on my process of thinking about colors. Even for this very artwork here. The funny thing though is the stream where I colored this artwork is the colors turned out very differently in the end. So I streamed while I was coloring it. Then after the stream I was like, this isn't really 100% working for me. And then I changed lots of the colors later on. So it happens. But still, I think when it comes to the thought process, it's probably still a useful to watch. Something that's quite cool here with the animation is that there's this ping pong function, so you can have like this never-ending thing, and then you have the ping pong where it goes back and forth, and that's how I want to animate later on. I think I need 1 or maybe even 2 frames more to make it look really good. At least 1 more. The cool thing with the ping pong is that you don't have to try to make it loop. That's one of the hardest things, in my opinion, is try to make it loop perfectly. And with the ping pong, you just have a start point, you have an end point, and it's just like flipping back and forth all the time. So it loops, it kind of loops itself. I think you could probably say that. And for me, who's always really trying hard to make things loop, and often failing and trying again, and it's a very, very great help. I'm going to do this very roughly here because it doesn't really matter. This part here is relatively static. Thing between, or the most important difference between this keyframe animation, so the way I'm going to animate the train later on, and this kind of frame by frame, is that with the frame by frame you have this extreme high amount of handmade elements. So it's really a very, very old school, like how they animated back in the days kind of thing. And it gives animations this special kind of old school anime vibe, or old school cartoon vibe. It's really extremely different from each other. So the both the ways of animating are very, very different from each others. Yeah, I think I like that. Tress, the brush is the plastic. Is it? Yeah, the plastic pencil. It's kind of a standard scribble and sketch brush from my plastic brush pack. And it's available for Procreate and also for Photoshop and Affinity, like everything that takes ABR file types. And it's and the reason I'm using it is that I want to just scribble down a layout for the animation. So it's really, as you see, it's very rough, and it gives me more, like it incentivizes me to stay rough and not to go too much into details here. But I'm going to change that now because I'm going to move towards the what was it? C. Montgomery Birds. That was my outline brush for this artwork. I'm going to move over here and do the clean outlines now. You see the sketch is just my my reference layer now. Of course, I could have skipped the process of sketching it, but it feels more natural and precise to me because I can, like, I have one layer, one step of planning in between. Yeah, Ricky is a great brush. It's one of my favorites as well. Ricky, Tony Montana, and the third one is Randy Marsh. Yeah, these three are my own favorites from my pack. And for this artwork, I don't know, I felt like using C. Montgomery Burns. Maybe because I just wanted to try out a different one. And did a great job as well, so. Yeah, you're using it right now. For what? That's cool. Oh, nice. The daily animation challenge. That's very honored that you using my brushes for that challenge or for that project. Great. Okay, so now I'm going to do all the frames here. I'm going to use the original one as a reference here again because I don't want it to alter too much. And when you do frame by frame animations and you are adding a frame and then using the same frame for the reference for the next one and the next one, without consciously doing it, you're changing the whole animation quite a lot, or the whole original setup quite a lot. So I'm trying to prevent that here. The good old hard round brush, yeah. Her ankle is a little bit off here. Still. I think one of the worst things to draw for me is shoes from behind. I always think that look totally wrong and weird. It's, I don't know. Like shoes from this perspective here is nightmare to me. Can't explain it. But I know it sucks. So this is frame number 4. Going to finish up the colors and the shadows as well. This is of course much easier if you have a style that doesn't rely on textures. No. Shadows, textures, complex coloring methods, all that stuff. Because it's yeah, if you have just like a black and white outline style, you'd be finished now. But I am not. So I need to do the colors, of course. And this makes frame by frame animation a whole lot more work for me. But I just always hope that you see like the work that went in and okay. So the outlines have a dark blue color. I'm going to do that. It's the same here now. Now we have colors and shadows. So 2 more layers per instance of the girl. So I'm going to group these, as you see here, every outline version with 2 more layers into a group. Oh, does this shop thing not work anymore? Try this link here. Or if you're looking for my digital shop, the Gumroad one. I think I had a command with shop, but apparently my commands are always broken. So let's get into some putting this as a reference layer, and this is basically quite easy now. Just picking the same colors from the original. Oops. Adding them here. It's always a bit annoying with the layers. Okay. And the hair. So you see, yeah, there's a little bit to it. It's not that mega quick of a process. I find it has a little bit of a relaxing thing to it, so it's a very kind of step-by-step working down the necessary things to do kind of vibe, but so which I sometimes like. So I think this is a process where which I like to do in certain states of mind, you know, when I just I put on a sitcom or anything on Netflix, sit down and just do this, because it doesn't need much brain power, it just takes time. I don't know if there's more intelligent ways to do this. That's what I meant before. So I have these tools, I have my workflow. It's very likely that there's possible ways to optimize this workflow, but for me it works quite well. So alrighty, so number 3, and then we have number 4. Whoops. I'm always doing the same mistake here. Okay, that's the colors, I think. Only some reflections here. I don't know how I can see this. Those lines here. Probably gotta wing it. course, you can speed it up here. Heavy wind. Very, very slow wind. But we're going to find out the best pace later on in After Effects. The fill is, yeah, that's some cool Procreate magic. Always missed that function in Photoshop when I still used to do my illustrations in Photoshop. So you have this outlines layer here, right? Just some outlines. And then you hit the layer and set it to reference here. And then when you go to another layer, it respects this layer as if you were working on the same layer, but actually you're working on a different layer. And then you sometimes have these white spots in between, and then you just hold down the pen and move it left and right, and you see there's a threshold, Schwellenwert in German, on top. And if I move it left, you see it doesn't fill as many pixels, and if you move it right up until it swaps over to the next part. Of course, it only works if you have closed lines. If you have a not closed line like this, doesn't work. But yeah, it's very, very helpful. So now I have the shadow layer, which is multiplied layer. So I'm setting all these to multiply as well. Voila. And now I'm going to repeat the shadows, which is the last step. Oh, there's probably a reference still. That's happening very often. So you're using a reference, and then you move on to another layer, and the reference is still set to set live. So that's the classic, that you want to color something quickly, and then there's weird behavior. That's very, very often the reason that you have a wrong reference layer. Yeah, my YouTube. Sorry, my YouTube name is different. I'm only Plastic Pen on Instagram. That's something that's bugging me a lot, because I'm always thinking that it's not very good example for branding to use a different username on different social medias. I don't know. I've been thinking about changing that for such a long time now. The thing is, many people know me as Große Halbur, which is just my last name. But Große Halbur is also very, very tough to pronounce and to tell people, like when you tell people your name, it's hard to keep in mind and everything. So I've been thinking about going full Plastic Pen, but I haven't decided yet. I also thought about like getting rid of plastic pen at all and making something completely new, because I never meant for plastic pen to turn into like a whole brand. But then again, it seems to work. I mean, people are able to recognize it and keep it in mind, and it's easy to write when you hear it. So yeah, it's something that's been on my mind for, I don't know, 2 years maybe. And I can't decide how to move on with that. It's not that I'm not successful with what I do, so it's if I had like issues getting freelance work and whatever and selling my stuff, I would probably push the process forward much faster. But as everything has been running quite well in the last years, there was really a need to adjust anything. Fat Panda, that's a nice name as well, though. Yeah, branding is a very, very special and very difficult topic. Yeah, I think I won't ever change the plastic pen Instagram name, because it's by now it's such a well-known Instagram brand, and I have like clients working with me who refer to plastic pen as like for influencer stuff, you know. So I'm kind of the plastic pen thing is kind of my influencer brand or whatever. I don't know if that's even a thing, but yeah. And I'm going to do a big course this year, so I'm working on that right now, where I will make a guide, like a very very complete and in-depth guide about my art and how my process works. So everything I've been sharing kind of in one course, you can watch lesson by lesson, and that has tasks for everyone who's taking part and everything. And I'm doing that with a company who does the marketing and gives me advice about the content and everything, and they are pretty confident that the course should be like something like the plastic pen way of art or something. So I definitely recognize that there is a branding factor behind that I shouldn't neglect too much. Oh yeah, that's a good idea, Strawberry. Should definitely do that. Yeah. Yeah, that's something I'm going to do for sure. And YouTube could be plastic pen as well. Problem is I think you can't change a YouTube username after you set it up for the first time. So, oh wait, the colors. So I think the frame by frame animation of the girl is done. Looks quite clean to me, apart from lower. This part here is the lines are very, very thick in the original. I don't know why. Maybe I should change the original, but I'm just changing everything else now. It's fine. Oh, and there's... shadow on this pocket is missing. Okay. Yep, looks good to me. Dominic, you did that. You changed your name on YouTube. Okay, that's good. Probably I gotta change it to Plastic Pen, but because I think the content there is a very good fit to what I do on Instagram. So I think it aligns very well. Okay, so now I gotta export the whole thing. Obviously, we wanna only have the girl and not the white background or anything at all. So, and what's really important at this part of the process is that the canvas size is the same as the animation I work in. So what I'm doing is I'm exporting PNG files. Actually, does it work with groups? I think so, but just to be sure, I'm going to reduce the groups to single layers. I'm not 100% sure right now. So animated PNG. Is it that one or no? It's PNG files, right? Right. To my Dropbox. To where is it? There's it. Animation. So and now I can change to After Effects again. Okay, good to know that it worked. Okay. So we don't need the iPad anymore. Just in case we... only in the case that we discover an error somewhere in the drawing of the girl, but apart from that, it's all good. So... did I move something right now? Yeah, I did. So I'm going to quickly rename the file of the girl animation files so we can import this as a PNG sequence. I just like using Dropbox. I don't know. So I'm importing the PNG file as a PNG sequence. You can't see that again. I don't know why. But you will see in a second. So PNG sequence just does select a group of PNGs and put them together just behind as an animation. So I'm adding this to the animation here, just in the middle, and it should be in the same place. Yes. So, and I'm going to put the girl in the place where the original girl was, like here, you know. See, and you see there's position is like, I think probably, yeah, very much the same. So now we have a very fast animation here. You see, very quick. So I don't know if this is the best way to do it, but I'm going to time and then I'm going to, I don't know, in English it's probably stretch time or something, and you can add a factor here of how much you want the time to be stretched. And there I'm trying to control how long the animation actually is. This is still very fast. Let's try 500. So this is kind of 500%. So before it was 1/5 of a second. Now it's 1 second, as you see here. Oh no, you can't see the pop-ups. Wait a second. Oh no, that's correct. So annoying. Let's do it like that. So that's better. So this is kind of the time stretch thing. And yeah, I think I probably should yeah, I just did exactly. Zachary, I should probably explain a little bit what's going on in After Effects, because it's quite complex software. So basically what you see here is all the layers from the PSD file in the whole like timeline window. And here in this area here we have the timeline, which is 12 seconds. You can't see that because I'm in the way. So here you have the 12 seconds, and everything that we're going to do with the animation is happening on this timeline here. So all the stuff that's going to move later on, etc. And as you see here, so the timeline here is at 1 second, and so the girl animation is 1 second long. So it's now 6 images. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the 6 images of the girl are stretched to 1 second, which comes down to 6 frames per second speed now for the animation. So let's have a look if that works. I think that is you can set up the quality here on the right, and here's the preview function. So it's down to a quarter of the resolution now. So let's put that to full resolution just to see. I think that looks a little bit wonky. Oh, it's because yeah, this is better. I think the speed is quite nice now. Yeah, could be even a bit slower if it doesn't look weird. So try this. I like this better. I like this better. So, and when I'm happy with the speed of the animation, just really putting layers, copying them until I have enough to fill the whole time, like this. And I'm going to create I'm going to group these now, because it just looks a little bit. We have this on a separate group here now, like this. So this is the frame by frame animation part. Everything we did is just like do the frame by frame animation in Procreate and import the whole thing to After Effects. And there we have the frame by frame girl with the nice hair and dress. Yeah, there's extremely high number of elements here. It looks very complex. The thing is, it's actually not because you have all the files from the Photoshop file, all the layers, I'm sorry. So we have the layers of the Photoshop file here, which is foreground, and the foreground is separated again into outlines, etc. So this is one part. Then we have like reflections here on the train, you see here. So this is kind of the Photoshop, and all we see here, like the whole pile of layers, is in the end just the layers from the Photoshop file. So you see here the reflection on the train, we have it again here. And this looks kind of complex, but in the end it's just all the layer options. For example, here you have shadows, and it's set to multiply. Just the same way you put a layer to multiply in Photoshop or in Procreate. So it's the same kind of options, just the whole interface is arranged in a different way. Yeah, the thing is, it's all PSD layers, but now you can go and animate all the layers, of course. So we're going to do that with the train now. So I want to animate the car first, because this will be easier. So we have this car here, which is a group, and the group is, once again, outlines, shadows, colors. But we just need the whole car, so we don't need to animate anything, like anything the car consists of. So we go back. Oops. Where's... yeah. And so this is one layer here, the car. I think I'm actually going to put the chat up here, because that's easier to see for you guys. And everything we want to do is have the car drive through the scene like this, you know? So what we have now is obviously a start, as it's a straight line from here to here. We have a start and an ending point. Let's go to the very beginning. With this thing here, you control like where you are in the animation, and let's put the car to a starting point somewhere here. So this is where the car starts at second number 0. Then we go into the transform options, and there's position, and that's what I meant with keyframe animation earlier. After Effects works with keyframes. So you put a keyframe in this position here, and it remembers this position, and then you move to, let's say, second number 7, and you move the car over here, over the road. Let's see if it's still... No, it has to be hidden completely, because we want to have it drive out of the scene. So, and you see it created the keyframe here in this position. So, and now in TTI is not enough to stream and use After Effects at the same time. So, I don't know. I would have thought that the power of the GPU would be sufficient. Apparently it isn't really. So I'm trying one more time. And if I'm gone again in a second, then unfortunately that's it for today. And I'm going to probably just record the last bit of the stream and upload the whole stream later on or something. I will find a way to show this. But yeah, somehow there's a problem. Probably I shouldn't stream in 60 frames or something. I mean, obviously that needs much more graphic power, etc. But the GPU should be able to do that. But yeah, I always got a NVN. What's that? Like that NVIDIA encoder error. Okay. Without further ado, let's look into this. So I have the car. Let's see. I'm going to play the preview, and that's where it broke up the last times. So let's see what happens. Okay, you see the car. It's going from right to left. Okay, that's good. So that's the super simple way of animating anything here in After Effects. Like just 2 keyframes, no crazy special things, just an object moving from one point to another. I want to add a little special, special detail to the car, which is I want to have it moving up and down just a tiny bit, so as if it's riding on a street. And we have, oops, and I'm not sure if this will work, but we'll see. We have the position here, and there's something called expression, where we can use something like, it's called a wiggle. One of my favorite things to do in After Effects, and this makes an object move within this parameter randomly. So let's see what happens. Okay, I put the resolution lower to save the graphic card's power, but that makes oh yeah, you see there. There you go. So this is kind of what it looks like when you go quite wild with the animation, but I want to have it subtle, so I'm trying to find a good, like, let's make it, I always forget. First is the amplitude. No, second is the amplitude, and first is the speed of the animation, I think. Okay, that doesn't look any less wild than compared to before. Let's see what it does with 10, 20, I think. Oh, it's going even wilder. Okay, maybe the 10 was too much. Yeah, yeah. Dominic's actually the guy who showed me the wiggle function, and since he did, I'm always using it like crazy. Oh, that looks a bit better. See, it's riding a little bit smoother. I think that goes into the right direction already. Maybe even a little slower. Yeah, that's nice. That's like as if it's riding over some bumps here and there. I like that. Okay, and we're now going to do the same for the train. So the train has 3 wagons. See them here. So I separated them into different groups as well, because I was thinking to have the train, like I was thinking about animating the wagons with the same wiggle. So we go to transform. We're not going to move the train at all coming from right to left now. We're going to focus on the wagons first. So the position here gets a wiggle. What was that? I think I had like 3 and 5 before. I think that's probably... So let's see. See, it shakes around a little bit, just as train would do that it is going over tracks, because train tracks are never really 100% straight and flat. And when you ride a train, you know the feeling of the train always going like up and down a little bit. I want to have that here. And we're going to add that for the other. I think I can copy the expression actually. Let me see. That's only copy only expression. That's what I need. Why is it gray? I don't know why it's gray. Well, okay, then I'm doing it manually. So as you see, we have the second wagon on there. both moving independently a little bit. I think maybe a little bit too much. I think it could be just a tiny bit less. And the third one. So let's see. Okay, so now we have all the wagons animated with this wiggle thing separately. Now I'm going back into the original file, and everything that's happening here is happening within this group. The groups are called compositions here in After Effects, but it's basically just like a group. And now can pick the train just like before the car, put it here behind, like hide it behind the house. And now I want to overtake, like I want the train to overtake the car, right? Kitra, thanks very much. How's it going? So I want to wait until the car is somewhere here maybe, and then I want the train to come in and overtake it. So we're going to start here with the position, and I'm going to, like, let's see, car. Maybe the car can be here and the train is gone by again. So we're going to move the train to here, or let's say here. So is it hidden already? Yes. Oops. Let's see how that works. I'm a bit afraid of pushing the preview button, but I'm going to do it. If I'm gone in a minute, I'm sorry. Oh, the train is very fast. Okay, the train is very fast. Zhoosh. Okay, and it's not really hitting the tracks here. You see, it's very flying over the tracks, which is a little bit of a tricky thing because of the wiggle I made before, you know. But I want to have train a little lower, I think. See if that works better. Yeah, getting better. I'm trying to adjust the 2 points, like the first and the second point, in a way that makes the train move over. There's probably an option, Dominic would probably know that, to not let the train exceed a certain point here over the tracks, but I'm not sure how and if that works, so I have to do that with my limited knowledge. That looks better. That gives it, puts it right over the tracks, right? Except the last wagon, which is which we can just push a little higher here manually, like that. So it's still a bit fast, but I think it should look a little bit more natural. It's very fast. Probably the car needs to be slower in the end, so there's enough time for the train to overtake it without rushing through the scene in a crazy speed. Japanese train, right? In the preview it looks like it's going over the tracks. Oops. Something funny we can also do, by the way, is giving it a motion blur. So if there's an option here, this here, so if you push this button here, or maybe I should need to do it in the whole, or the wagons. No? This one? No? I don't want to do that anyway, it looks a bit weird, but I just thought I'd show you what it looks like, but it apparently doesn't want. For whatever reason. Doesn't matter. Okay, let's see. What's the speed now? Yeah, I like that. I think I'm going to make the car a little bit slower, so it's easy because I just need to drag the, maybe let's go for 7 seconds again, whatever. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's an old driver taking his time. And I'm going to have the car come in a little later, and the train as well. I think I'm going to slow down the train even more. See how that works. I think the car should be here at the crossing, because there you can actually see it for the first time in its full glory. It's a little inspired by my very first car I ever had, the Volkswagen Golf 2. That looks better to me, except the fact that it's going to maybe slow the car down a little bit, like that. See? Oh no, that didn't work at all. So I want the car to be somewhere around here when the train passes it again. Which means I need to slow it even more. I don't know. Maybe it's not an old driver, but maybe it's someone's just sleeping at the wheel. Let's see. Okay, it can come in a little bit earlier. Let's see how that works. So as you see, it's always a little bit of trying around and playing around with the speed of things. But that looked really cool to me. I think that's a good pacing. Dream is stable, huh? I'm back again. Back to business. I'm back to business. Okay, so I like how that works. I have this little reflection of the train window here, this one here. I want to have that pop up when the train kind of comes by this spot here. It's not in the perfect position anymore because I moved the train. Okay, that looks better. So I think what I am going to do is I'm going to add a mask to this and move the mask when the train is moving along. So probably you know masks from Procreate or Photoshop already. If you're familiar with these graphic softwares, the mask is Alright guys, So, streaming was not very successful. And I just had, I think, 3 failed streams because my GPU seems like couldn't handle both streaming and After Effects. It's both very resources hungry, very graphic power hungry, I guess. And I am now just recording the rest of the stream, and I will cut it together to one video later and upload it to YouTube again. So if you're watching the video, this is a short break. I just explained what happened, and now we can keep on making the animation. It's just a little bit of work to do, not very much work left. So I think I can just record the rest. Okay, so we're worried. I actually had finished making the animation of the train and the car. So it's both rushing through here, as you see. Car is still very, very slow, but I think the pacing is alright. It's a very relaxed kind of driving. The person in the car does, and I also have the frame by frame animation of the girl done. What I did in between right now, but I'm going to show you how I did it, is fixing the reflection on the train. There, you saw it. Very, very short moment where there you see the reflection on the window of the train. This is basically not a mask as I wanted to do like in the first place, so the mask thing didn't really work. But what I did now is we have the reflection on a train, the layer here, you see here. And what I did here is going to cut the timeline to a very short moment. This blinks. So I basically just have the opacity to 0% first, so you don't see the reflection at all. It's there, but you don't see it. Then boom, it comes in at this point, and it moves along with the train here. So it moves with the train and then gets transparent again up to this point where it's not visible again. So in live tempo, it's just really a very short blink. Then we have the reflection on the window here in the house. That should be possible all the time. It's really very subtle. I don't know if you actually really notice it later on, but I wanted to have that look like, you know, these effects when you have a reflection in the distance in the summer and the air is in motion because of the heat reflecting from the earth, the surface, and you see like the lights flickering. I want to have that here. So what I did is I added a wiggle to the opacity. The wiggle is the same thing that I had before with the thing that make the train cars shake a bit and the car jump up and down a bit. So you can apply that to everything, and I applied it to the opacity here. So it, as you see, very subtly, the opacity of the reflection, it's flickering a little bit, just a little bit. That's that. Last thing I want to do is I have, where is it? I have a glow here, see? And I want to animate that in and out a little bit, so it's very subtly. So it's now at 38%. If we put it at 100, looks like this, which is a bit much. It looks like a very atomic radioactive sun. We don't want that. So 38 is probably the maximum, or we can go for maybe a little bit higher, but let's start the animation at 0 with like 10%. And then it goes up to 38. So you won't even notice it that much when you play the animation. Rendering the preview. So it takes a bit because it's full resolution. I hope the recording of this video doesn't cut off in the end. as well. So there we go. And you see, if you play it again, you see getting brighter very subtly. So that's really a very, very small detail. And then I thought I could probably put it up to 50 for a short while before it goes back to 10. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, like that. It's as if the sun powers out its beams for the last time in the day. Yeah, it's very subtle. So that's that. As I said before, I don't want to animate the clouds in this piece because I think want to keep it like more calm here, and animating the clouds would make the whole, especially if you have a frame animation, it would be very it would take much attention actually. So that's basically it for the animation. What I want to do is have some leaves, just a couple leaves fly in from the side when because we have this effect that there's some wind blowing in. Is the, I want to say the girl is double. We would only need one girl in here. So when the wind blows in and moves her hair and the dress a little bit, I think it would be nice to have like just a couple leaves come in. I'm going to do that later because I have to draw the leaves first, but it's very simple, just similar to the car and the train, just that the things fly in and out of the image, and that's basically it. But something else we want to have in here is, of course, sound. And just hear that the music is off, which is a good occasion for me to jump over to Epidemic Sound, which is my go-to supplier of royalty-free sound effects and music. I have a subscription there. You can also find it down in the description if you want to sign up. It's an affiliate link, just as a disclaimer, so I get a little bit of a percentage for you signing up. But I can really recommend Epidemic. The difference with them is that I don't see anywhere else. There's probably other services, but what I love here is that you have music. So all the music I've been playing during the stream is from Epidemic. They have lots of great music tracks, lots of genres, but they also have sound effects, which is great. So far I only knew sites who had either or, but Epidemic actually has both. And lots of really cool sound effects. So for example, we have the train in the distance. Maybe let's try distant. And here we go. Let me quickly put that up a little bit and hear it better. That's very very distant. Do you hear that? Not sure if you heard that. Let me put the box up a little bit. The computer sound. So we have stuff like that. Train horn. But I want to have some. Okay. Oh, and I have a sound of a train running over tracks. Maybe train tracks or something. Gravy train. Oh, what's that? That's weird. Oh, that doesn't sound so bad. That doesn't sound too bad at all. So I'm going to download it. Whoops, wrong folder. There you go. Music. And then we have these train lights, probably like this ding 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 sound. Nope. And that sounds more like a freight train. Train, what's that? Train stop, maybe? That's all the sounds of freight trains. Nightmare train chugs. Interesting. I have a sound for that actually from another animation, so I think I'm going to take that. But I want to have a car in the distance. No. Small Malaysian town. Car. Nope. Just a car passing by. Funny thing is that they have the actual car models, like a 92 Jaguar XJS. Or Escort. Well, oh look, here's Japanese traffic as well. Very nice city ambience, but not for the scene I have. Just need a car passing by. Oh, that's not too bad. It's a bit fast. It's a bit close. Tricky thing is that we have this far away objects here in the animation, so I need a sound that works for distance. All too fast. Wet snow. Alright. Grand Prix, no. No. Yeah, there's a lot, but oh, that's okay. No, wet road. So I need something. I can already see this with the sound curve here, which is probably okay and which is not really working. Oh, this is nice. This is nice. I probably have to tweak the sound a little bit later on to make it more suitable to the distance. I can probably add a bit of a couple of effects to it to make it better fit. This is nice as well. I'm going to download it just to save it. Yeah. Then we have probably a couple of birds. Forest birds and some crickets maybe. Oh, that sounds too much like a rainforest. I hope you can hear that in the video. Sunrise birds. Jungle birds. What's Sonoma? Yeah, that sounds very exotic. Morning birds. Oh, I like this one. This is very subtle, very nice. Yeah, this is great. And a bit of wind. Maybe some crickets. I'll see how it works with what I have now. But no blizzard, no storm. Old storm. There's something like calm, wind. We're a quiet forest with birds. That's very quiet. Okay. Resort Wallow. Ah. City park ambience. No, no people, please. Windy. Oh, that's cool. Nope, that's water. That forest is interesting. That could work. Whoa, whoa. Enchanted forest. Okay. Oh, that's great. Bush and leaves movement. Trees. Light wind and trees. What's that? I don't hear anything. That's really, really good. Quiet. I don't hear anything at all. Okay. Trying with what I have now. So what happens next is quite easy. Just adding the files here. And let's start with the train. The tricky part is to make it loop, of course. The train won't be such a big problem. Because I just have to fade it in and out. So this, of course, works just as everything else here with keyframes. So I put 2 keyframes. I put one to 0 decibel, which is like the normal what's it called, loudness, normal, I'm missing the word, how loud it is. And then I never know where the bottom line is here, so I put 40 or something because you don't hear anything at 40 anymore. Yeah, that sounds good already. Wow. Surprised. And same going out. Then we have maybe a bit earlier, fading out a bit earlier. So yeah, that's the train. That sounds very good already. That was fast. And we have the Mercury Sable 6 and 4. I don't even know these cars, to be honest, but let's see how that works. Okay, it's coming in around here, so we have to move this a bit earlier. This. Yeah, it doesn't really fit the car, right? So it's too fast, even though the sound isn't very fast, but it sounds like you're closer to the car, so you really hear it kind of go by you. I think that's what doesn't really perfectly work here. Oh. I have to see if I find the sound of a car that is really far away. Yeah, I'm going to look for something. Because you have this effect, this Doppler effect, when you are close to the street and a car comes by you just from a couple of meters distance, but you do not have that this strong when you are far away. So with making these sounds, it's always like trying to imagine like how would it sound if I actually stood in the place looking down this valley here. So how would a car going down this road actually sound? So you always have to try to imagine it. I'm just thinking probably I could cut the sound before it has this turning point. Here, somewhere here. If I cut it here. If anyone knows the correct bottom line of the decibel meter here, which one, the one that is actually 0, where you don't hear anything at all anymore, please let me know in the comments. I think you also should hear, I mean, it's an old car, right? It's inspired by the old Golf 2. So you should hear the engine as well, not only the tires. No, this isn't even bad. I think this actually works. Yeah, this is great. I think I just need to find a very subtle engine sound and it's fine. Fine. All right, so one step further with the sound. I took a little break and then I finished the sound. I hope I'm finished. So what I have here now is a little bit of an engine sound, very subtle. Then we have the birds We have the train, of course, and we have a little wind in the trees. Very subtle as well. Let's hear it. Let's hear what it sounds like. Very smooth. There's a little bit wind. There's the train. And I think it also loops. I think the loop also works. So now I was really lucky because I also looked for some entry music, a piano entry to some song on Epidemic, and I was lucky because I found one that just like the song is a bit longer, but the intro ends at 12 seconds, and I was able to loop it very easily. So that doesn't happen most of the times. Most of the times you have to loop it with lots of tweaking, lots of tricking around. I'm adding the piano now. Let's listen to it again, and I think it's really kind of complete. Some smooth piano. And now it fades out a little bit and starts over. So I think this is quite a good loop. Very happy about this. So yeah, I think I'm going to call the sound part done. I'm very happy with it. The only thing I had, that I thought was missing is actually something happening here in the upper part of the animation. So we have the train coming through the car, of course. We have the girl, but here is a little bit of emptiness. I like it in the illustration because it gives like a lot of white space and it creates a nice contrast. But in the animation, I think there should be something happening. And for that, I am going to go back to the iPad again, and I'm going to show you how I think I want to have some leaves in there. And there's two different methods to add leaves. Again, as you saw before in the beginning, we have the animation made by keyframes and the one made by frame by frames. And I think in this case, I want to add a more frame by frame animation because I think it's a better fit in this case for this scenario. And I'm going to show you how I'm making the leaves. Let me quickly prepare my iPad for you. Quickly making a new file here. Okay, so let's switch to the iPad. Hopefully it works. Ah, there it is. Perfect. So I have a file with just the background layer, just the illustration as on one layer. And what I want to do is I want to have some leaves flying through the scene, like coming from the left with the wind coming through, maybe one here, and I want to add maybe a couple of birds flying through here, just some small birds, so I don't have much work drawing these. They can just be really like just actually just consist of small lines or something. Yeah, now the next step would be to imagine how it would look like to like if leaves were coming through here. And one trick is to actually add these lines so you can animate along those. That helps a lot for figuring out the animation. I'm picking my outline color, the right brush. Here it is. So I'm in Procreate. I have this as a background layer here, and I just add a new animation layer here, and I just keep the lines on the background layer, right? And now let's see if a leaf would come in here. So I'm going to do this very simple. I'm going to animate it along this line, and in the meantime, the leaf is twisting or like spinning around a little bit. Okay, the next step would be behind the pole, so the next one is here maybe. So it's circling around itself, just like a leaf would fall in real life. So if you look at leaves falling down the trees during fall season, I think that's the best inspiration you can, or the best reference you can get for that. And if it's not the right season, right now here the trees are all leafless. I'm sure there's some video references or whatever. But it's enough to do this in a really rough way here, in my opinion. So there's really no need to overthink. And the pacing is, of course, like, it's really trial and error in the end. So we have this now, you see, kind of the same speed. Maybe the leaf is slowing down a little bit now. Maybe making a twist. Be circling around itself a little bit here. You know, the pace isn't always the same. There's a leaf coming down the tree and it's kind of, the wind catches it and suddenly it increases speed or it loses speed. So I'm thinking about this type of movement now. Maybe it goes even back to where it came from for a bit. If you can't really see this, can also turn down the opacity here. No. Maybe it even lands behind that shed here. Oh, by the way, I can turn on the music, the background music again, but a little less loud. Let's see. That's better. A little bit of music. Okay, so. These are my memoirs. Light up a cigar, smoke up the memories as I sit and dust them off. Why do people say it's just to piss you off? And now I just color them very quickly on the same layer. So I'm picking one of the colors the trees have here, like this. Maybe a little different, and then this is again really very repetitive work, but we don't need to do anything too complicated here. I think the simplicity even gives it a certain character, you know. It's could do this extremely complicated and elaborate, but the simplicity adds something to it here. By the way, maybe I should see how the animation itself works before I color it. Let's see. I think it looks quite natural. I think that works for now. I could, of course, optimize the animation very much here, but I'm too impatient for that. I just want to move on. But I'm not doing this the first time, so probably I have a little bit of practice.
These verses, these are thoughts that I brainstorm. People do me wrong, but nowadays I just pray for them. I've been under pressure, you can't tell cause I stay calm. I need peace and quiet, all I hear is the rain falls. Now all I see is green like my name was
Hey, whoops.
Take
a look again.
Shout out to the fans from the jump that stayed on. Rolling every hour of the day till the pain gone. Now every time we drop, yeah, they know that it's
looks nice. Okay, cool. So I'm going to export it. One file type that works for me here very well, by the way, is animated GIF. You wouldn't think that it is a suitable file type for exporting an animation, but somehow it works quite nicely here for me. So let's go for that one. Breaking generational curses, yeah, that started with me. So all my fams and my friends, they depending on me. All this pressure on my back and I could hardly breathe. And we call it
Got the heart of a lion, so they know I'm a king. People see me all the time and say,
Leaves 1. Alright, so now we go back to After Effects and upload the leaves or add it to the composition and see how it works. Of course, we need a couple more, so I think I would probably do like 9 to 10 of these leaves. As you see, lots of work, but you can use the same frames, so I don't have to export animation over animation. I can just like pick one frame here and start again here on the left side with drawing a leaf, and the next frame, etc. Just make sure you don't add any frames in between, because that would mess up the first animation, of course. So the frames have to stay the same here. But apart from that, you can use this file for multiple leaves. Alright, an hour has passed. I wanted to speed things up for this video, so I took an hour and made a couple of leaves, just in the same way I've been showing you before. And I split it up to 3 different GIFs. I also have some birds. Here's one bird. See, here is flying in circles, maybe looking for some prey, a mouse or whatever. And then I have a couple birds coming through here, like five different small birds. It's just really extremely simple, as you see. It's just lines and dots, but it works quite well. And then I have a couple leaves split across the 12-second animation, so it gives a nice continuous movement, and there's something happening all the time, even in the upper part here. Not that much, so we have one leaf coming through here, and I think later on. Yeah, let's see how it looks. Without the sound, by the way, just okay. So it's very rough. See here. Not too many frames. It looks quite rough, but as a total animation, it works quite well. So I'm quite happy. I especially like the birds coming in here. I think these are quite nice. Okay, and I think that's it. I think that's the complete animation. I'm going to export it, and I'm going to show you the final result in a minute. Give me just time to render it. And I'm using media encoder for renderings, by the way, quite easily handleable. And I'll show you the final result, and then that's this video / stream kind of thing. And here we are, final version. Let's take a look. I'm happy with it. I hope you like the result. I think this is a great combination of handmade, keyframed animation. I hope you learned a little bit about my process. I really hope it was insightful. If you have any questions, please just put them down in the comments. I will answer them whenever I get to it, but I promise to answer all the questions you put down there. Yeah, well, I'm happy that I could turn this stream into a finished video after all. And I thank you for watching. See you soon for the next stream. Bye bye. See you soon.